I finished my March book for my Great American Novel Challenge for 2025, and March's book was The Heart is a Lonely Hunter by Carson McCullers. This is a book that really examines poverty, loneliness, faith, and depression, specifically through the lens of the 1930s South. There is a lot, but also not a lot going on here, so let's dive in. The Heart is a Lonely Hunter is set in a town in the middle of the Deep South at the end of the 1930s. Side note, I think that they're in Georgia based on some of the locations they mention. Like they mention Atlanta a couple of times, but this actually doesn't matter. I'm just kind of a geography geek and wanted to know. The story is centered around our main character, John Singer, who is a deaf mute and works as a silver engraver, as well as a motley cast of misfits who are drawn to him for his very sympathetic and kind nature. This includes a young tomboy with an obsession for music and a desperation to grow up, the recently widowed owner of the cafe where John Singer eats all of his meals, a disenfranchised black doctor, and an angry migrant labor agitator. Say that 3 times fast. The trick to this book is that pretty much all of the plot points happen with Singer being mostly a secondary character. The other characters go about their lives and things happen to them, and then those stories are told to Singer as a sort of silent confidant, whom they treat as both some sort of counselor and a friend. Singer weaves in and out of the vignettes of these people's lives as he seems to be the only person that they can all reliably confide in. The tomboy is dealing with becoming a young lady, a longing for a career in music, and the potential burden of leaving school to enter the workforce so she can support her impoverished family. The doctor is dealing with his failing health as well as the racism inflicted upon his family. And our beloved drunken politicist tries to reconcile his beliefs on government, labor, politics, faith, the nature of man, and myriad other things with his own angry, impoverished migrant reality. The only real plot points that involve Singer are his visits to go visit his best friend from whom he is separated at the beginning of the book, which also serves as the inciting incident for the story. This is another one of those books that's more about people and less about events, in which I mean that it's like introspective about humans and not a plot-oriented story, which has been a common theme throughout the books from this period so far. I liked this book a lot, but I'm not sure that I loved it. This is a story, or a set of stories, that overarchingly deals with people who are tremendously lonely. And not to make it about me, but loneliness is something that I have struggled with a lot in my life, so it can tend to be somewhat of an uncomfortable topic to wrestle with. The very bleak reality of a lot of the aspects of their lives, and the many profoundly sorrowful things that happen to these people can become very heavy as we go through the book. This is not really a feel-good book in my estimation, but it is a book that I am glad that I read. Sometimes it is hard to have someone so starkly and clearly reveal the threads of our lives and point out how fragile people can be and how precariously perched a lot of our good fortune is. But this is a book that does a good job of reminding us that we should be kind whenever possible, and that it is always possible. You never know what battles someone may be fighting, and we are all fighting something. For being Carson McCullers' first book, which she published at just 23 in 1940, I think this is a profound and tremendous accomplishment. The only negative things I have to say are that I think some parts of the book were a bit overdrawn, and overall I think it was too long for what it was trying to accomplish, but not by a significant amount. But this book moved me in a touching and uncomfortable way, and I think that's a good thing. I give The Heart is a Lonely Hunter 3.5 out of 5 hammers. I would like to leave you with a passage that really stuck out to me. Why was it that in cases of real love, the one who is left does not more often follow the beloved by suicide? Only because the living must bury the dead? Because of the measured rites that must be fulfilled after a death? Because it is as though the one who is left steps for a time upon a stage, and each second swells to an unlimited amount of time, and he is watched by many eyes. Because there is a function he must carry out? Or perhaps, when there is love, the widowed must stay for the resurrection of the beloved, so that the one who has gone is not really dead, but grows and is created for a second time in the soul of the living. So yeah, feel good stuff.